Oh, folks, good evening, good afternoon, good morning, when and wherever you are. I hope everyone is staying safe. Hope everything is all right with you. Okay, now let's get on with it. As you can see by the title of the video, I find it very hard to understand this mindset of the American farmers. And right now, they are complaining. Of course, they have all the reasons to complain, but they were voting for Mr. Trump. Now, first let's watch a little video. Okay, you can find it in Reddit, in the cringe TikToks, and I want you to listen to this guy, a soybean farmer that reacts to Trump's bailouts. Okay, let's just listen in.
The problem that people don't understand is when they hear that farmers are quote unquote getting bailed out, is that we're never made whole by a government payment. A government payment is nothing more than throwing a dollar bill on a spilled glass of milk on your kitchen table. It's designed to not make us whole as farmers, and that's the biggest misnomer of all. We are never made whole. We're lucky if we get 30 cents on the dollar for a program that is designed to make up for a man-made disaster. This is a man-made disaster. This is caused by this administration and their actions, and it is having a negative major consequence on not only farmers, but it's having on American factory workers, because we as farmers, when we have money, we spend it. We buy big ticket items like combines, tractors that are made with American steel, with American jobs, and American wages that people can live on. We need farmers to have money again so that people in the Rust Belt states can go back to work. We're laying off people right now. John Deere is laying off people. Case is laying off people. There's no reason for this. This is ridiculous. This is stupid. We need to get back to work, and we need to put money back into the American economy, and it starts with American agriculture.
All right. So, first of all, let's address the quite obvious errors of thinking of this gentleman. American steel, American companies, American jobs. No, most of those components to those companies comes from outside the USA, from Canada, from Mexico, and some of those machines are actually assembled outside of the United States of America. Okay, what you can say is American jobs. Yes, you can say American jobs because there are people that are assembling or selling those machines to you. Hmm? And that's an entire ecosystem of supplying farmers with machinery, with fertilizers that also come from Canada, at least a great deal of them, the potash, I think, a lot of things that come from Canada. Then the second thing that he's talking about is trying to, I don't know, he didn't even mention once that he had supported Mr. Trump, but most farmers did. I'm not saying all of them, but the majority of them, enough to generalize, supported him. And then he's talking about the administration has done this and done that, that the bailout won't pay anything. But we all know that. The key issue here is that your market of your soybeans, it's ruined. Because then, let me just pull up this one. Give me a minute, please. Sorry for my unpreparedness. This is a bit of an impromptu video, okay? But how can you expect to have any kind of sanity from an administration where your president, in his personal propaganda machine, the 14th of October, okay, 9:37 p.m., when he says this: I believe that China purposely not buying our soybeans and causing difficulty for our soybeans is an economical hostile act. We are considering terminating business with China having to do with cooking oil and other elements of trade as a retribution. As an example, we can easily produce cooking oil ourselves. We do not need to purchase it from China. Okay, well, Grandpa is off the meds again, it seems. Well, sir, I said, sir, Mr. Trump, you imposed tariffs on China. And a couple of nights ago, you suddenly decided to impose some more tariffs over China. And those tariffs are nothing more than taxes that you are paying, putting on the back of your importers. The same importers that used to sell these soybeans to China. Yeah, okay. You make it more expensive to export things from the United States and to import things into the United States. It's a double whammy. Okay, it's a double whammy because if you put tariffs on goods from other countries put tariffs on yours, and even if they say they don't, they do it in a covered way, like for example increasing the VAT or increasing the costs of processing or doing things like for example stop sending parcels of post into the United States because of the added costs that you decided to put on the small parcels that right now even a small parcel has to undergo more bureaucracy and even more costs because you I think you didn't like that small time businesses, some of them home based in the United States. I mean, so I'm talking about poor people or people that are not rich doing a bit of business on the side. Well, perhaps they were even working in other things, but you don't like that, okay? And you don't like for someone, for example, to say visit Europe, comes here to Portugal, sees some great cheese, some great preserved meats. We are experts on that, okay? Some great custards, some great pastries, some great cakes, and just gets a little box of treats and takes it to the family. No, you're going to pay taxes over that. So this is basically what you do. You have done something that not even the dumbest of countries does. Not even here we do that. Okay, we are not going to tax a guy that buys a box of custard in I don't know in Japan. Some of those delicious pounded rice cakes they do. I love them. Okay, or some mochi. Okay, you are not going to charge someone taxes for that. At the most, the person will pay at the with the luggage and all of that will pay more if they bring too much, if they have too much of a sweet tooth and they bring a lot of custards. Okay, yeah, you're going to charge if the person brings in items. Imagine the person buys a computer. Okay, then the person is going to have to pay taxes over it. Okay, if it's bought outside of the country, and that's natural and that's normal. And it's never extortionary values. Okay, it's balanced values that have always existed and that are there to provide the state for some taxes for items that the citizens or the residents buy outside of the country and bring in here, or else everywhere people would grab cartons of tobacco or something like that. They would shove them in their backpacks, and in they come, and then they arrive here and they sell them. Okay, we all have to understand that taxes, in this sense of importing and exporting things, they have a sense and they need to exist because it's a way of states to finance themselves. And we might not like paying taxes, But in my view, at least, I'm not annoyed for paying taxes. I'm annoyed because my state does not use the taxes on things that benefit me and other people. Okay, I don't like certain things. I don't like, for example, to have issues with the roads or to have to pay more taxes on my car because the state does not do his bloody job, okay, of using those taxes for example, improving the roads. They are not bad, okay? They are not bad, thankfully. They have been very worse in the past. But what I'm trying to tell you is this: paying taxes is not bad. Paying taxes and not getting some kind of return for it, that is bad. Okay? And in the case of the United States, you don't have healthcare, at least in the sense that I think healthcare should be, in the constitutional sense, like we have here, and you still pay taxes over it. And then you still pay taxes over products on your supermarket, and you pay taxes on bloody everything. And you don't have the services, and you don't have anything. And you have this lunatic in the White House, okay, issuing these laws, and no one speaks about it. Who speaks about it? Okay, insignificant YouTubers like me and a couple of others that are militant and that have a lot of more people behind them, and a couple of politicians. But more, no. Around here in Europe, what I'm seeing progressively is people simply being indifferent to it, okay? Ignoring. And that is a European characteristic that is pretty much, pretty much, I would say, pretty much common here, okay? I have both cultures behind me, but I'm a born Portuguese, okay, Portuguese citizen, but I have German ascendancy. Let's call it like this, okay, just to make it easy. And both cultures ignore you. And like I said in one of my videos, I think the difference between, for example, a Northern European and a Southern European is that a Northern European will ignore you by looking at you, turning its back on you, and going away without interacting with you. And a Southern European will do exactly the same. The exception is that he will do it with a smile. Okay, but around here I'm seeing that okay. For example, when they are talking about supporting NATO, they talk about the allies supporting NATO. Okay, and then if the United States is part of the equation, they say and the United States. You see, you understand what this means, okay? You understand what I'm trying to tell you. I'm trying to tell you is that progressively, Europe especially, but also Canada, also Japan, also Korea, also all the traditional allies, they are simply getting up, gathering themselves, and letting the troll continue to spew his Nero tirades in the White House. Because, look, you cannot convince me that this person is well mentally. Because I am not in the same mental trap that some of you in the United States are. And I know it's not all of you, okay? But you are in a mental trap where you have to consider everything that he does and that you have to obey everything that he does, okay? He doesn't care about the courts. He doesn't care about procedures. He doesn't care about bloody anything, okay? He just spews a couple of words and off you go, okay? Now he wants to put troops in New York, in Chicago. Okay, he wants to do all of this shit, and you are not doing bloody anything. And then I am here. Okay, and I was look. I don't do social media very often, okay? But sometimes in Reddit, I like to go into Reddit, like I said in other occasions, because sometimes you get some videos and you get some links to news media, okay, and something like that. Sometimes if I don't really know where did I see that video, where did I see, whether I read that piece, and I go in here, okay, and it's easy for me, okay, and I see Reddit in English, in everywhere, in Germany, for example, in Portugal, or okay, whenever I want to look for something very niche, okay. But then I go in here, and this guy, he wasn't the first one, okay. And look, let's be clear about this. I'm not like I told you in other videos, I'm not the type of guy that goes around with Schadenfreude and being happy about people being ill treated. Okay, but look, just listen to this. This is about the Nobel Prize. Sorry,
Said he deserves the Nobel Peace
let me
Prize.
start again.
U.S. President Donald Trump has repeatedly said he deserves the Nobel Peace Prize and he'd like to have it. He even said that it would be an insult to the United States if he doesn't get it. What does as the chairman of the Nobel Peace Prize Committee, think of this, and how has this campaign-like activity by the president and his supporters, domestically and internationally, affected the deliberations and the thinking in the committee?
In the long history of the Nobel Peace Prize, I think this committee have seen any type of campaign, media attention. We receive thousands and thousands of letters every year of people wanting to say what for them leads to peace. This committee sits in a room filled with the portraits of all laureates, and that room is filled with both courage and integrity. So we base only our decision on the work and the will of Alfred Nobel.
Do you Americans want me to translate this for you so that you understand it? What he just said? I will. What he's trying to do is this. First of all, he's saying that during the year, they receive a lot of proposals for the Nobel Prize. A lot of people that, for different reasons, are considered to have the values that Mr. Nobel had in mind. Mr. Nobel was a very rich man that made his wealth from dynamite, to be completely honest, okay, and weapons and all of that. And he decided, when he was also, and correct me if I'm wrong, he was also a very fair and logic man, okay? And he decided to leave his fortune to create a system of awarding a prize that is comprised of money and the prestige to someone that would distinguish himself or herself in a lot of areas of human nature, such as the Nobel Prize, that is intended to give a reward to those that fight for freedom, for personal rights, for peace, for understanding amongst people, okay, who suffer with heroic stance, incredible hardship, like Nelson Mandela, for example. Not a but he was not a perfect man, okay. But the issue here is they are not trying to reward absolute perfection. They are trying to reward a person, even a normal citizen, that is able to create an effect on society that will lead to peace. Speaking again of Mandela, with all the problems that South Africa has, and it has a lot of problems, I know, okay? I even have spoken with people that were there, that were, look, I can speak of this particular case. I know a guy that is half Afrikaner, half Portuguese, okay? His father was Afrikaner, or his mother, something like that, I don't recall. And then he returned back to our hometown, okay? And it was because criminality has had skyrocketed, rocket, and his family wanted him to be in a safe place. Okay, so they sent him to live with his uncle and aunt in Portugal, for example. I know South Africa has a lot of problems, but South Africa also has a lot of potential, and South Africa, for the better or for the worse, is trying to build itself up as a country. And all of this would not be possible without that movement that was born before Nelson Mandela, okay, but that he entered and that he propelled it. Even with all of his sacrifice of being imprisoned for so many years, of being subjected to ill treatment, of being tortured, of all of that, okay? But the man, he did something that was worthy of a Nobel Prize. But you don't reward people like Mr. Trump. You don't. Look, a disaster capitalist that allegedly, and I will say allegedly, because I don't know if it's true or a lie. I'm not a judge. I'm not a jury. I'm not here to. I'm here to give an opinion, like I have told you often. I'm not here to. I don't know. Uh, be holier than thou and pass judgment over others. Okay, but what I'm trying to say here is that the commission, even if you don't agree with all of their Nobel Prizes, I don't agree with a lot of their Nobel Prizes. For example, even if he was the first black president, I don't consider Obama to be worthy of it in that sense. But I'm not questioning that, okay? Number one, because it's something that already happened. And number two, because I'm not in the commission. I did not see, I did not analyze all of the data that they analyzed to consider it, okay? And I know also that sometimes the Nobels are used for political intents, okay? And those political intents are the intents of the people that select the prize. I'm not saying any of this, okay? Look, we are all adults. We all know that this happens. But they do have a sense of ethics and a sense of responsibility. And you tell me this, how would you give a Nobel Prize to such a person? He was giving a big speech in Israel talking with a war criminal, praising a war criminal, at least according to the international courts. This is not me. Look, this is not me saying it. It's the international courts. He went on a meeting with Mr. Putin, also a wanted criminal in the international courts. I'm not uh, I'm not making any imperative affirmations. I'm just saying it as it is. It's factual. And you are going to give the Nobel Prize to a person like this. And then, going back to the beginning, you have all of these people now crying over their issues. Then you have a couple of other Americans mocking them. And while all of this is happening, he continues to do exactly what he wants. He continues to embarrass the United States outside. You know, did you see him in Egypt? Meloni really dodged a bullet. The guy wanted to kiss her and whatever. Oh my God, come on, please be serious, my friend. You don't do that. You don't act like that. Just the way that he acts tells me who he is. Okay? and I don't like those type of people. I was taught to respect women, and to respect a woman, it's not to be some kind of flower power, flower power. Oh boy, no, I'm a man, okay, a normal man. I just don't treat people like shit, and I don't disrespect a woman. Usually, in these things, it's better to give a woman her space. Okay, he was shaking her hand. If she wanted to hug him, she would make that movement to hug him in this situation. This is just an example, okay? You have dozens of examples, okay, of someone that always constantly wants to be in the limelight. And that he's making a lot of money. Right now, he's making more money now as a president than he probably did in his entire life, creating and then crashing businesses for profit. And this is also factual. Just go look it up. And then he has all of these allegations, okay, and and the crimes that he was convicted for. But yet the Americans voted for him, okay. And what can I say about this? When I see farmers complaining about not being able to sell your soybeans, you're not going to be able to sell your soybeans because China needed them and they were buying them from you. And your president destroyed that market. But it's not just the soybeans, it's sorghum, okay? It's, for example, the dry nuts and raisins to Europe, for example, okay? It's the beef that came from other places because you cannot produce enough beef for yourselves, like from Brazil, from Mexico, where the cows came from. It's all that you are getting from Canada. It's all that you were selling to Canada, my friend. You were able to annoy two countries that are some of the calmer, more pragmatic countries in the world. Canada and Denmark via the country of Greenland that is a part of Denmark, of the Kingdom of Denmark. You threaten these two allies. You threaten the Danes, and I have met a couple of them, and let me tell you this. Some of them were assholes, and others, they were the most calmer and nice people that I have met in my life. Very relaxed, very logic, something that I like because I'm like that too, okay? If I'm sitting, right now I'm talking with you and I'm recording this video and I'm giving you my opinions and whatever. So there is a purpose for this. But for example, if I'm in a workplace or whatever, I am only going to, for example, utter an opinion if it's needed. I will only speak if it's needed. I don't see the point of uh, constant blabber about anything. Maybe that is one of the reasons why I don't like the Fanta Führer that much. Because I don't like people like that. They annoy me. Okay? And it's not, this has nothing to do with anything else. Okay? But able to destroy economic ties with Canada. For God's sake. The Canadians that have always helped you, that have always stood by your side, shoulder to shoulder, in every sense of the word, and you do this. You have destroyed forever, forever, and forever in the sense of at least 2 or 3 generations, you have destroyed the trust that existed. And even if now, after this, some kind of normalcy returns to the country, which I doubt, okay, because the Fantaführer is just a symptom of, and MAGA and all of this, they are just a symptom of a disease that is running underneath the country, okay? Because these people are not going to magically disappear if you are able to stop the takeover of power and you elect a democratic government and, pardon me, and whatever. These people are still going to be there. They are still going to be there. And around here in Europe, I have heard people often talk about this. And in the UK too, even with all the issues they are having with their right-wing lunatics. Okay? Everyone is saying this. When he is gone of power, they will still be there. People will still remember Vance and the others calling us parasites. People are going to remember all of it. And we have long memories. We have long histories. Portugal has been a country since the year 1143. Officially 1147, okay? And before that, we were an ethnic, we had an identity, an ethnic identity around at least 1,000 to 900 years before Christ. Okay, replicate this to most of you, to almost all of Europe, in a way or in another. So we have long memories, we have long cultures, and people will remember this. And you cannot expect to flick a switch and everything will go back to normal. Do you think that after the Fantaführer is gone, if he is gone, who knows? If he's not replaced by some other capo from from his particular movement. Do you think that when he's gone, China is going to trust you again magically, and they will start buying your soybeans? They are creating markets elsewhere. Same with us. We are creating markets elsewhere. Everyone is doing it. Why? Because the world does not stop turning when the Americans have a hissy fit. Okay? This is also infantile. This is also so low key, so basic, so animalistic is the word that I was looking for. And then I hear these people, farmers, that should be actually look. You want to know what we are all going to think about America in the future when we talk about it? I'm going to show you actual footage from the January 6th U.S. Capitol attack. Reminder, they have all since been pardoned. This is your capital. Okay, this is what people are going to think about when they remember America. And this is what a lot of reporters here are not even talking about. Why? Because it's not important anymore. But whenever people think about the Fantaführer's America, this is what they're going to remember. Savages. Savages attacking a capital. Do you know how important this is? These people storm one of the most, if not the most important buildings and centers and symbols of your country. They attacked it. Nothing justifies this. Even here, when people are protesting the government for whatever reasons, they don't do this shit. Even if sometimes they are fighting the cops, even if there are problems, and there are, okay? The Portuguese, when they are crazy, They are pretty much like the French. Okay, they start beating everything, beating up cops. They beat up politicians. They go mad, and sometimes they even uh, waste. Because I have to be careful with some words because of the damn YouTube madness. They waste politicians. Some have been, let's call it, enlightened, like you dumbasses now have the who force people to say. And you want to tell me that I, as a person in the outside of all of this, I should I should understand that farmer, okay, or I should understand these savages storming a capital. Well, look. Let's look at another one. Another funny one here. Okay, let's watch it. Let's. Okay, no ID, doesn't identify himself, trying to kidnap a passenger. Who are these effing Nazis?
What's going on? What? Leave him alone. Yeah.
Who is this guy?
No. Yeah, who are you? What's going on? Yeah, what's going on?
He's here checked out by him.
He's what?
Stopping a train.
Yeah, what's going on?
Gestapo move.
Let him go.
This is Gestapo.
Okay. So what's going on? Why? No. It's a. Just. Then it's okay. Then you're fine. Just.
Are you police?
Yeah. Who are you? Police?
What kind of police?
Ice.
ICE?
No.
No.
Just say it. Just. It's all good. No. Yeah, he's all good. He's all good.
He's okay. No, he needs to get off and get checked out by ambulance.
No, he's okay. No,
So, all right, thank you. All right, you're good?
he's all good.
Fuck you. All right, go have a seat.
No.
Go have a seat. Go sit down.
Yeah.
Go sit down and you're good. No, go sit down.
Siéntese.
Sit down.
Sentate. Sí.
Perfect.
All right. Thank you, sir. Yeah, we're all good. Thank you. We're all good. Appreciate it. Cool.
What the hell is this? Look, I live in a country that has its issues. Okay, having 1 million immigrants in our country causes issues. Yes, it does. A lot of issues. But we don't treat people like pets or animals because they are people. You think this is humane? You think this is normal? I don't know, man. I look at all this shit. I have seen another one. Look, let's listen to Caroline Leavitt or whatever the hell she calls the blonde one, talking about Mandami, which is the new hate speech because the guy is Muslim or some shit like that.
Proved that the Democrat Party's main constituency are made up of Hamas terrorists, illegal aliens, and violent criminals. That is who the Democrat Party is catering to, not the Trump administration and not the White House and not the Republican Party, who is standing up for law-abiding Americans, not just across the country, but around the world. And that's proved that.
So in her mind, every Muslim is a Hamas terrorist. Well, I really don't know about the United States, but here, before COVID, there was an issue with Islamic terrorism, and the Muslims in the mosque in Lisbon helped the police find them and solve the question. Every time, every time there is a hint of terrorist threat, they do what the priests do in Catholic Church. They warn the authorities. Look, I don't give a fuck who your imaginary friend is. I have my religious beliefs. You may have yours. As long as they don't interfere with the secular life of the state. The state doesn't need and should not have any kind of religion. The state should have ethics, and Christian ethics and Muslim ethics are not that different. Sorry to blow the cap out of Muslim or Christian zealots, but the truth is that it's as simple as this. It's not normal for a Christian or a Muslim to kill someone, to threaten someone, to hurt someone, to not forgive someone. That is not normal for us, for our culture, this type of culture. And yet this woman, because the man is Muslim, I think, is different. He's a Hamas terrorist. Look, this is, and then you look, and this one is even more funny. Trump, I'm going to show the video. Why not? I'm not monetized. Okay. Trump and Indonesian President Prabowo Subianto have just been caught on a hot mic discussing a deal. He asks to speak with Trump's sons Eric and Don Jr. Why do not work in government? Did we just hear a major crime happen?
This is a region not safe security. Can I meet Eric?
It's a bit hard to listen.
That's what I told Harry also. I told Harry we'll look for better place. Yeah, all of okay.
American foreign policy.
I like that you told me that. We don't need.
Right. Okay, this is American policies right now. And that soybean farmer wants this guy to do something about his farm. He couldn't care less about his farm. He couldn't care less about him and his entire family. Okay? Because they and look, they are gaining enough money. Now and now let's listen a bit of Mr. Johnson, Mr. Mike Johnson, the Speaker of the House.
That's my understanding. With regard to the swastika thing, this happened last night. A Republican congressman, allegedly one of his staffers had something in the background or something in a Zoom. That's what I heard this morning. He says that that's not his, and there's a proper investigation ongoing, and the congressman did exactly what he should have done, and that is report it. It's under investigation, and I can't comment on it any further until that's done, but I will say, obviously, that is not the principles of the Republican Party. We stand for the founding principles of America. You want me to articulate them for you right now? Individual freedom, limited government, the rule of law, peace through strength, fiscal responsibility, free markets, human dignity, the things that lead to human flourishing. We have stood against that. We fought the Nazis. We defended that evil ideology. We roundly condemn it, and anybody in any party who espouses it, we're opposing that.
Okay. The first thing I'm going to say is this. I would like to listen to him say this nice little speech to a World War II veteran, probably all dead right now. But I would like to see him say that to a veteran. They are using the swastika. They use it in their rallies. They use it walking around in the street. They put it like we saw it. I also saw it. If you haven't seen it, please go and take a look. They put it in their cabinets, okay, in their offices. Sorry, they use the swastika. They are fucking Nazis. Look, I don't care if they are if they are dark or black or whatever. If they associate or Jew, if they associate with this particular ideology, they are Nazis. And again, Mr. Soybean Farmer, this is the guy that you want, taking care of you and your family and your farm. Okay, look, look. I could go on and on and on and on. Like, look, and let's. I'm just going to show you one more video because this one is going a bit longer, but I'm feeling chatty. And this is what Mr. Trump. I don't think any president has ever ended a war. One war. I did 8 of them. Let's listen.
You're talking about the whole president's election tomorrow. It just seems to me that, look, it's only a field. That's all I've done in my whole life. I've made deals. I know about deals. I do it well. I don't think any president's ever ended a war, frankly. One war, I did 8 of them, Maria, right? And but I don't know. Did Bush ever end? Do you think Biden ended a war? Biden started wars because he was stupid. But do you think Biden ended any wars? No, I don't know of anybody that ended wars. I ended 8 of them. Now it's going to be 9. I think we're going to have this one done hopefully soon. But I'll be meeting him probably over the next 2 weeks. First, Marco is going to be meeting. And the vice president, as you know, is very much involved. The whole team is involved. Steve Witkoff will be involved. Yeah, please.
Okay. So, can anybody in the comment section tell me what are these 8 wars that he ended? This is an old one. This is before his talk with the dwarven war master, Mr. Putin. This is before that, okay? But can you tell me how many wars has this guy ended? I see him start a lot of them. I see him enabling a lot of them because let's be serious, okay? What is happening in Palestine? It's also the 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 how the former administration. It's also to blame for enabling it. Let's be clear about it, okay? You cannot outrun that bullet. But who has provided the weapons and and all of that? Okay, and he ends imaginary wars. He wins imaginary trade deals. Once and for all, whenever you hear him say, I have brought billions in tariffs, what you should be listening to is, I have charged billions of taxes to the American people and the American economy. He's literally bleeding the economy. He's crushing the low and the middle class. And this is economics 101, for God's sake. It's absolutely unbelievable that the president of a superpower that is now fading. It's fading, and it will continue to fade over the years. Okay, this is a process that has just started. It started about 20 years ago, to be honest. If we are going to be all historic and how can you say precise? Okay, this started with the Iraq War, with all of that bullshit. Okay, this started with that. When the towers fell and everyone was hands in the air, oh, and the first hints of American madness came to be. I remember it very clearly. I was in high school, so no one told me. I saw it. Okay, and this panic extended to the entire world, to Europe, to the Allies, and off they went into Iraq, into Afghanistan, doing all kinds of shit and doing absolutely nothing. The Taliban's are back in power. Okay, Iraq more or less it's keeping itself whole, but until when? You had ISIS, you had all of that entire disease of the mind that is religious zealotry. It still continues to plague us. People simply cannot evolve out of that shit. I keep telling this to everyone. I have my religious beliefs, too, but I don't let them transform me into some kind of ignorant, pathetic fool. What you are going to cry and be a slave your entire life. You are going to let that mental disease corrode your mind. You are going to let a religion dictate what you do with your life. You are going to call demons to all those that don't follow your particular version of a religious belief, or that don't believe in the same things that you don't believe, or who do not care about your opinions. This look, this is completely madness when I hear people talking like this, like that guy Mike Johnson, the spokesperson of the White House, the blonde Caroline, calling an American citizen a Hamas supporter. The man was only pointing out the same thing we all have seen. Thousands of Palestinians being killed. No one told me. I saw. No, it was not AI. I saw from multiple sources. And I think Hamas are also a bunch of idiots. To me, you know what would be ideal? Ideal would be to pick up the leaders of Hamas, pick up the leaders of the IDF, including the current prime minister, okay? Put them all in a desert island with one box of food and one box of water and toothpicks, and then let them fight it out. Because these people, they don't deserve to be in society. The Palestinians, you want to know what they need? They need to have homes without bombs falling on it, without streets filled with Israeli soldiers beating up people, without Hamas terrorists blackmailing them, and without dumbasses that don't understand that saying that civilians are being murdered in Gaza is genocide. That it's not right. That you should not do that. And the Jewish people, the Israeli people, more than anyone, should not do that to others because someone else did it to them. They know one of the reasons why I'm not a racist, why I am not a racist, why I did not grow up into being one of those persons, it's because I suffered it myself. In a sense, I still endure it today. And I am fucking white. Just not the right kind of white for the place where I was born. And I have talked about it, won't talk about it again. And that soybean guy, again, he's going to continue complaining. Well, what am I going to do? Well, you should have done something before. Right now, what can you do? Well, go to the No Kings protest. Try to do something. Try to change things. Try to put a bit of God fear into them. That they know if they try to push it any further, they are going to get burned. Because the end game here is power and money. Nothing more. It's the most vile, the most despicable reason for all of this. But it is the reason behind it. Power and money. I would understand a militant that fights for an ideal, even if I don't agree with that ideal or that I consider that ideal to be stupid. But I would respect that person. But these people, you want to know something? They are not even fascists. They are not even fascists. They are just bloody criminals. Simple criminals. They do not deserve to be called or be a part of an ideology. They are simply criminals. And the place of criminals is in jail, not in normal life. But, well, this Newswatch was a bit long. I talked about a lot of things. I hope you liked it. And if you didn't, well, don't like it. Leave me your opinions, leave me your comments down below. Okay? Talk about it. As long as you are civil, you can please drop your opinion. Okay? I read the comments. Sometimes I take longer because I'm doing other things, but I read the comments. Okay? So leave me your opinion down below. Talk about it. Talk about it with your friends. Talk about it with your family. If you're in the United States, talk about it. The only way to solve things is to talk about it. Is to shed some light in the. It's like Confucius said, it's better to light a small candle than to curse the darkness. Okay? Well, thank you for listening to me, and, well, please be safe.